So normally during fight week, I'll walk into the media area after finishing up the morning show, and I'll wait to see who comes in, who I can talk to, who I can interview. And after so many years doing this, you can kind of tell who's working, who's hanging out, who's just kind of waiting for the catering to come in. And then there's someone that walks in and you can tell they're a boss. There's certain people that just walk in and you can tell they're powerful. They're just unquestionable bosses. And the kind of person that does that, when she walks in and you just know she's running the show somehow, that's Brittany Goossen Brown. Brittany, good morning.
Oh,
how are you?
sweet. Hi, good. That was nice. Thank you. How are you?
Doing great, doing great. So fight week, remotely isn't quite the same as, being in the media area and, at the MGM or somewhere else.
It's not. It's weird. I mean, I think we're all doing the best we can with it. I think we've actually acclimated slightly well, but I don't want us to acclimate too well because I want to go back and be normal and be in the media center trying to ignore everyone asking me for a credential, so I'm like,
so did you have a hard time adapting to just not going anywhere for a while?
Yes, the first couple, it was a little bit easier to control everything, like as far as transportation and flying them in the hotels when you're home base and you're not moving and you're not on a plane yourself. But the first fight I watched at home, I was like, what? It was a really weird, it was sad. I was sad. I was emotional about it.
Where were you when they hit you? When they said we're shutting down, we gotta stop. Were you somewhere else? Were you home?
I was in Maryland. We had a show there. We were supposed to do a show the 14th. And so I had just flown in overnight and I had gone to a meeting at the MGM National Harbor and they said, hey, our governor's about to make an announcement. We think he's going to say no fans. So I started doing everything on my end to, get away from having fans on there, all the extra family members I'd flown in. We were trying to figure out a plan to just have boxers and their seconds. And then they were like, hey, we need 45 minutes in between a meeting. I literally walked across the street to the H&M, was buying time, shopping a little bit. And then by the time I got back there, they're like, it's a wrap.
They canceled it.
Yeah. And then we had to get everyone out. I mean, the guys were so confused. We had to get everyone back on the plane. People were already on planes on their way in. My whole staff was there. And then we got out and that's when I really started reading about it. And I was like, what is happening? Because we were in New York the week before. I mean, we had such a schedule too that, that's where and then I thought we were going to be out for 2 weeks and someone said, we'll be back in May. And I was like, oh no, we'll be back sooner than that. And no, took till August. So.
Wow. So, I mean, obviously you're in the back end of the business and you got to deal with the money situation. So what did that mean? What did that mean for you guys having to cancel shows like that? I mean, money wise.
Oh, it hurt. It hurt. And even to put the shows on now, it's costly. And, thankfully we're okay, but and we have some TV deals, but the little club promoters and the small, they got to be, it's tough right now. Just the COVID regulations on their own are so expensive and such a costly matter, and the bubble and all the additional testing and requirements. It's going to take a while for anyone to break even.
Have you been affected personally or directly by the virus at all?
No. And I get tested every 3 days, like a crazy person. And I'll be like, I can't taste anything.
So your nose is always hurting?
Yeah. Every single time they do that swab, I'm like, I think they gave it to me. But no, I haven't, thankfully, known that I know. And the people that I've seen, some of the guys, the fighters who've had it, they were asymptomatic anyway. So I haven't seen anything on the tragic end, luckily.
Good. That's always good.
Yeah.
It's been tough. It's been tough. And I know it's hit every sport, from soccer to NFL, NBA, everyone hit somehow. And it's just, I don't think anybody expected it to go this long. I think, I was looking around back in March when I said, we'll be back in September, thinking, that's a long time. I'm just, being sarcastic. So then September comes around and I'm like, okay, I was just kidding. How far?
I know. But in about I would say June-ish, when the MLB, is that when the MLB tried to kind of come back? I did get into fights with people on Twitter because they would say like, these athletes are so selfish. And I was like, they don't understand that even though the athletes do make a lot of money, there are so many people affected by what these athletes do. I'm talking the stadium employees, the concession workers, janitors, parking attendants, airline operators, people that, put our
Yeah.
bags on planes. These athletes that people are judging and saying we can go a year without sports with make a lot of money for a lot of people in a lot of facets. So
Yeah, it's there are things you don't realize. I mean,
cameramen, the people that set up the fields and the crew. It's just a lot of people are affected, and it's sad. And I'm glad that we're able to come back in some capacity. This weekend will be the first one with fans. So
yeah, 11,000 fans at the Alamo Dome this weekend. So I'm sure there are still tickets available. So if you haven't got them, you can go get
there
them.
are.
And
Yep.
I mean, it's gonna be a nice pay-per-view. We're talking, two big names in the main card with Tank Davis and Santacruz. So since we're on that, what do you think of the fight? They're gonna both fight at 130. I know Tank's had an issue with making weight sometimes. 130 is kind of tough for him since he's the 135-pound champion.
Very tough. Very tough. But he looks good. He checked in today and said that he's perfectly on weight, and I believe it. If you've seen him, you can tell the difference with the Tank too.
Yeah.
The guy's got power though, like I've never seen. But like I tell everyone, I'm Team Leo. I've been Team Santacruz, Team Leo from the beginning. I mean, one of the best guys and the best families in this sport. I just nothing but love for them. Good people.
Yeah, speaking of people that got hit with the COVID, huh? His dad was in pretty
Oh,
bad shape for a while. I mean, he was telling me last week, and yeah, so his dad, pulled through, and we're glad he'll have him in his corner.
I'm it's a blessing because it was a close call there. I mean, at one point they told the family it was going to be over that night. We were all devastated, but he bounced back and he's going to be working the corner Saturday night. And I mean, that in itself is a real victory.
Yeah. So how long has it been since you took over the company?
Well, my dad and I have been for 5 years.
5 years.
Yeah.
What would you say has been your biggest challenge, especially being a woman in quote unquote a man's world, which is boxing?
hmm
What's been your biggest challenge? I mean, you're talking about a lot of high egos.
Yeah, but the fighters, and I've never, maybe because I grew up around it too. I'm a little bit different. Like my Uncle Joe is a trainer, and we had the Ruelas brothers back in the day. We had Michael Nunn, that was our first champion. James Toney. I mean, we've had Floyd fought for my family. Like we've had just about everyone. So I've always been around the athletes. I've never. I think you learn how to deal and how to. And no one has a bigger ego than my uncles, actually. So
Do you,
I
do you ever
learned from
clash?
the best how to deal with
Do you ever-
them.
So do you clash with your uncles at some point, like where you just don't see eye to eye on certain things? Or?
No, because I just know how they are. I mean, I don't, I just roll with it. I probably am the same. But no, and my Uncle Dan, he passed away 5 years ago, I think.
5 years ago, right?
So after he passed away is when like my mom really talked me into coming in. And it is true. If no one's going to work these hours and do these things unless your blood line is
Did you
dependent on it.
second guess yourself? Did you ever second guess yourself about jumping into the business full on?
Yes, I kept lying to my parents and telling them I put my 2 weeks in. I put my 2 weeks in at my other job, and then I got in, and I'm like, I'm never getting out. You guys are gonna be sick of me in 30 years. But it's a it's a family business. Even when I was cleaning out the all the old files of my uncles, the same names repeating all the time. And now you see a lot of second generation kids too. I mean, there's a lot of us in all areas of boxing. So it really is a family business.
So now, do you feel like women behind the scene in
Mm.
boxing, are they getting the fair share of respect that they deserve now? Is it getting better?
So just recently, actually, I was featured in the Ring magazine article about women telling their stories of how they were treated in the business. And another thing, I was protected. I came in the respect already of the name and the bloodline of my uncles and family, and they know they're not going to mess with them or mess with me. But I do think that those women that came before me, the Kathy Duvas, the Kelly Swansons, they really forged a path, because I think they had it pretty rough from hearing their stories and the things that have occurred. And
Were you surprised? Did it shock
yeah,
you to hear what they had?
I was shocked. I was shocked. It was shocking. And it was just like that women weren't even allowed to sit in like the media center, like things just like that, you know.
Yeah. Because a couple of, like Giandra, I know Giandra very well, and so when I read her part of the story, I was shocked. I didn't think that stuff. I mean, I've been in radio for 20 years, so I know things happen on the artist side, and
right.
But when it happens to a reporter at a boxing event, I'm just like, really, like that happens here too. Where does it stop, right?
Yeah, even though then a part of me is like, wait, this is horrible and I'm a terrible woman, but it's like, how come no one's tried anything? Like, I don't understand. Like,
Right,
I'm like, wait, what? Everyone's had this? Like, hello? But no, it was shocking to hear. And it was, I'm thankful for them. Unfortunately, they had to go through some stuff to make it easier for the rest of us to get in. So
I want to use this opportunity for you to really send a message to women in general that want to jump into not just boxing, but any sport, whether it's as an athlete or as a reporter or as a promoter or as any other way.
Did I lose you there?
Yeah. What's a piece of advice that you think would be good for these women trying to jump into the business?
I think, and I said this in the magazine too, it is what it is. We have to work 10 times harder than a man. If you say something stupid, it's ditzy, or she's dumb, she's this, a guy says it, he made a mistake. So you have to work harder, you have to be smarter, and you have to present yourself in a way that you want to be seen, because there's not a lot of forgiveness for women in the business.
Okay.
In general, in all businesses, I would say.
What's coming up for Brittany in the next, let's call it 12 months, because the way things are going, it's going to be one long month, right?
Well, I certainly didn't see this coming for me. Like, the next year, I'm hoping that, this Saturday goes well. We get the fans back in there. Little by little, we're able to get more and more fans back in. And we get back to rolling like we were on a normal pace. And I can't wait to see everyone on Radio Row again. I'm not going to even be mean anymore. I'm going to hug and touch everyone. No lie.
But that's what we've already had it, so we're going to be all immune to it, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. By that point, we all have the antibodies.
But yeah, I had chicken pox back in the day. We're good.
Yeah, me too. So no, but honestly, I think a lot of people they're not there for these big fights and like that kind of environment. It's the best. There's really nothing like it. And that fight, the weigh-in, and Fury Wilder was the last big one I was at, and the fans were just like explosive and fun, and those first like walkouts, it's just, there's nothing like it, and I miss it, and it's not the same right now. We're still able to put the shows on the best we can, but I just can't wait till it's back to our old normal.
I agree. I completely agree. Well, this Saturday, October 31st, which is basically tomorrow, good grief, it's already Halloween. It's going to be a great treat for everyone.
Spooky.
Pay-per-view, 8 p.m. Central, 6 p.m. Pacific. Tank Davis versus Leo Santacruz. Winner takes it all at the 130-pound limit, and it's 2 belts on the line. It's going to be great. Brittany, how's this fight going to go?
I'm going Leo. I think if Leo tires him out in those first couple rounds and doesn't just put himself out there like that, I think we could see something special happen. So I'm I'm hoping. I got Leo on my side. I'm going for a win for Leo.
Awesome. Awesome. I have to ask you one last question before we go.
Mhm.
You being the boss, you write the checks. Give me one ridiculous request that you've gotten from a boxer.
Oh gosh, there's been so many. What's the weirdest one? I still think when they ask to use my bathtub, that's weird. And it's like happened multiple times.
They ask you what?
They don't want to get their bathtubs dirty before the weigh-in, like, and they do the salt baths. And this has like happened like 5 times. Like I'm used to it now. I'm like, oh no. I'm like, just do yours. But yeah, they'll somehow rumor spread that I'm okay with this, I guess. But yeah, that was a weird one. At one point, someone called me in the middle of the night because their sink was flooded at a hotel in
Like
Vegas, the MGM.
your
Yeah.
maintenance, huh? So
Yeah, I know. I was like,
you're also hotel maintenance.
yeah. They call me for everything. So
my AC's not cooling. Can you come check the thermostat?
I know. Yeah. I mean, they're very reliant on me, I guess. It's complimentary.
Call Brittany. Everybody just call
Yeah,
Brittany.
I know. Just call Brittany. Call Brittany. I know. But now I'm like, don't forget about me. Keep calling me when they're in the bubble without me. So
Awesome.
it'll
What's
be
your
okay.
social media? We gotta check out on social media. What's
I use Instagram. It's Brit_GB. Oh, and I have my flyer up there because we're having a pre-fight virtual party, virtual Zoom party on Saturday. It's going to be fun. We have a whole bunch of our fighters coming on and joining, and Ray Flores is going to host, of course, and it's going to be a good time. Only 2. I'm going to cut myself off.
Let's
Wow.
make it a Sunday fun day all weekend, right?
Oh yeah, it's Halloween. Let's live it up. So.
Awesome. Leo Santacruz, Tank Davis this Saturday, October 31st, 9/8 Central, Showtime pay-per-view. Don't miss it. And of course, big round of applause to Brittany. And thanks so much for coming on. And
Thank you.
we'll see you in person.
Yes, yeah. And you better be at our Zoom party. So I'll send you the link. Have a good one. Thanks.
All right, take care, Brittany. Thank you very much.
Bye.